I have been, I would say, putting on a good front. Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday. I have taken the day off because it's Labor Day weekend, and that means I get a 4-day weekend because I took today off. I also took Monday off, so it's a little bit of a slow time. I work in municipal government, and around holidays, there's no council meetings. Things kind of slow down for folks at my level, so it's a good time to take a couple of days off. I have plenty of vacation time, and so I took Monday off and I'm taking Friday off. So kind of a light week for me, which is good. I have been, I would say, putting on a good front is how I would present myself right now. So people are like, wow, you're handling everything really well, but they don't understand that sort of during downtimes, I'm pretty sad. So I'm just trying to keep myself busy, and I thought today might be a good day for me to vlog. Here's what I have on my agenda. I need to go to the bank and pick up a box of checks waiting for me. Then I have a doctor's appointment. So I just recently paid to have some chest x-rays and a face x-ray. That was not cheap, but I feel like it's worth it because what has been happening to me every spring or every fall into spring for the last 7 years is it feels like someone's sitting on my chest. Oh, I had an allergy patch test, you know, the thing on your back where they drip different allergens on your back, and I was allergic to nothing at all. So I'm just not sure what's going on. And so for me, getting these x-rays was kind of the last resort to see if maybe it's not allergies at all and it's something structural. So that's my follow-up appointment today. Then I'm gonna go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Long story, not worth telling right now. I've been having some issues with my Amazon delivery, so I actually thought it might be easier just to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. And they sent me a 20% off coupon, which I know you can get everywhere, but they sent it to me as a new resident, so I thought I would see if I can use that. Then I need to get my nails done, and I have a consultation appointment for Botox. Now, don't judge me. Remember, this is a judgment-free channel. I've been thinking about Botox for a while, mostly about, I'm looking in the monitor here, this and some of this. And so I'm just listening right now to find out if it's something that I want to try. This is my second consultation. I wasn't so thrilled with the first one. I didn't think she just sort of sat down and started talking at me, and I'm really looking for someone who is going to listen, who's going to ask me what my goals are. I am not someone who's super into plastic surgery or a ton of procedures. As you all know, I radically changed my skincare routine about 6 years ago, and I think it's made a huge difference, but there's stuff that skincare cannot do, mostly around this kind of stuff. So I'm just curious. And on Monday, we signed the final papers on our house, and we made some money off of that. And since I'm not buying right now, it all went into savings. And last time we sold a house, we gave ourselves each some money to spend on frivolous things. And that's when I got my NuFace microcurrent machine, which I think I've shown you in past videos. And so I thought I might do that for myself this time and give myself a little bit of play money. And so I'm thinking about spending that on some Botox. So come along with me today, and let's see how much we can accomplish. Staying busy right now is a good thing for me. It helps keep me sane and stable. So come along. Oh, before I do all of that, I'm gonna hop over to Whole Foods, which I can walk to from my apartment. I need to return an Amazon purchase. It was a dress that, I can't believe that dress got as many good reviews as it did. And then I need to buy some Madeira wine for a Forks Over Knives recipe that I need to do, which I plan to do later today, and I will show you. So let's go. Okay, well, that was a whole thing at Whole Foods. I didn't think it was gonna be so difficult, but I got bananas because I needed bananas and I was out of them. And then if you've been here, you know I'm starting to get obsessed with vinegars. And they had this Garden Heat. Now, let's just admit this is beautiful packaging, and I'm a sucker for beautiful packaging, but it was also on big sale. And you know, Whole Foods, when they do sales, they do a sale for regular people and then an additional sale if you're a Prime member. And so I thought this might be fun to try on vegetables, or maybe drizzled on a salad. So I'll let you know how that is. And then the difficult part was trying to find this cooking wine, Madeira or what's the other one? Oh shoot, Marsala. Madeira or Marsala. I had to ask 6 people, and we finally settled on this Pinot Noir can, which I can use. They didn't have the cooking wine, but he said that this should be sufficient. I am not an alcohol drinker. I don't know if I've mentioned that before on this channel. You know, a couple of times a year I might have a drink, but honestly, if I've gotten older, it doesn't make me feel good, and so I try not to do things that don't make me feel good. So I wanted the smallest possible amount of wine I could get, so I bought this can, probably way overpaid for 1 can of wine. Otherwise, it would go to waste, so it's worth it. Okay, I am on my way to the bank. Okay, let's talk about being prepared when you go out in the world. Now, if you are someone who doesn't like to prep your food or prepare your food or bring food with you, and instead you'd like to go through the drive-thru and just sort of play it by ear as you go, I'm not sure purple is for you. I think there are ways you can do it. For example, you can get salads at fast food, you can get baked potatoes at Wendy's, you can do it, but for me, it's very difficult, especially the way I eat, which is more whole food, plant-based, to leave things to chance. So I just try to limit how often I leave things to chance. So I had my loaded oatmeal this morning. I didn't show it to you, but if you watch any of my What I Eat in a Day videos, you'll know what my loaded oatmeal is. I was up at about 5:30 in the morning. I ate my oatmeal about 7:30. It is now 9:30, and I'm going to be out for the next couple of hours. So here's what I have with me. I have a mason jar full of red seedless grapes. When I buy my grapes, I immediately wash them, take them off the stem, and put them in to-go containers so that they don't rot, and then I can just eat them throughout the week. I have a little bag full of potatoes. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So these are fingerling potatoes. They were on sale. That's why I have fingerling potatoes. And I boiled them. Last night I had smashed potatoes for dinner, which is just another step. So you boil them and then you smash them on a piece of parchment paper, and I bake them in the oven in my convection at about 440 for 30 minutes, flipping halfway through, and it makes them really nice and crispy. But the rest of them I just put in a bag, and so these are really good if I get hungry. The grapes will tide me over, but they will not actually tide me over for a meal. And then I have an apple. So probably more food than I'm gonna need for how long I'm gonna be gone, but that is best for me, because if I find myself in a situation where I'm hungry and I have to stop somewhere, that it's just difficult. It's difficult for me, and I generally have a hard time staying within my points. I'm at a gas station trying to get some kind of vegan protein bar that's also low in points, which doesn't exist because they're mostly made with dates and nuts, and it just becomes a whole thing, and it's not worth it to me. So with that said, here I go to the bank to pick up my checks. Okay, we'll see how well the audio comes out. I'm sitting in a parking garage with the top down, so apologies in advance if there are some car noises. Well, that was a little frustrating. So about 7 years ago, when I was living outside of Washington, D.C., I started experiencing severe shortness of breath in the fall into winter. And at that time, my commute included a mile walk to the subway up a very steep hill. So I found myself just sort of trudging up slower and slower every day, gasping for breath. And I started going to the doctor to get emergency sort of nebulizer treatments, which is that breathing steroid, albuterol. And that was the only thing that kicked me out of it. And a course of steroids, like a pill steroid, a Z-Pack. I think that's what it was called. And I didn't know what it was in the first couple of years. That's how I handled it. And then about 3-4 years ago, I tried to start figuring out proactively what was going on. So I got an allergy skin test, which showed nothing. And then I tried some steroids, inhaled steroids that build up in the system over time. But we've never been able to determine what it is. So like I mentioned, I just paid $1,200 to get an x-ray and an MRI of my chest and my face, and a blood allergy test. So I'm going through all this because I know some of you don't live in the US, and the healthcare system here is frustrating. And I have good healthcare because I work for government, but it's frustrating because these are nice doctors and they're well-intentioned, but they seem to take on too many patients, and so just always feel really rushed, like they don't listen to me, and that's frustrating. And this woman, I like her, she seems very competent, but man, she clearly didn't have time for me. And so I'm just very aware that I spent all this money on these tests, and she just kind of blew past them. So here's the result. I'm not allergic to anything. So I'm going to go off my once a day. I take a over-the-counter allergy pill, and then I do allergy spray in my nose at night. She said go off of those. The only thing the x-ray showed was that I have a slight deviated septum of 6 millimeters, which she said is, maybe I shouldn't use the word slight. She said that's substantial. But the only thing that fixes that is surgery. She doesn't recommend it for surgery, but she said that's probably why I'm congested all the time and I have postnasal drip. That's separate, she seems to think, from the seasonal thing, which she thinks is just asthma. And she said 100 things could cause that, and it's really hard to know what it is, but it does not seem to be allergies. Who knows? I've spent my entire life living in very congested, poor air quality cities. When I grew up in Los Angeles back in the 80s, there were times that the air quality was so bad I couldn't see some mountains that were a mile away. LA's kind of turned itself around, but I'm back to living in an area with terrible air quality. I'm now in my second state dealing with this, so who knows what it is, but we're gonna try a long-acting build-up in your system steroid again. So I'm gonna go to the pharmacy and pick that up. All I know is that every fall into summer, it's really hard for me to breathe. And as someone who's very active, and it's hard to sleep with it. I mean, it's just hard. So I'm going to see if maybe this will help. I think in general, my frustration with healthcare is that they claim that they want to be about preventative care, but as someone who's healthy and they don't know how to handle me. They seem to only know how to handle people who are in really bad shape, where they can solve the problem. They're not really about preventative care. That's my impression. And this is multiple healthcare systems, multiple insurance policies that I've been under. I go in and I try to talk about preventative care, and they just don't know what to do with me. And they often just suggest drugs, which I want to be on as few drugs as possible. So I'm excited to be going off of 2 drugs, less excited to be going on 1, but if it can prevent me from having to do these emergency nebulizer treatments this winter, I will take it. So I'm going to go to Walgreens. Hopefully she sent it in and I won't have to wait too long, and then I'm going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Surprise, not at Bed Bath & Beyond. That is because the whole pharmacy experience was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. So I get up to the counter and they don't have the inhaler that I was prescribed. They won't have it until Tuesday. It's a holiday weekend. For me, it's Labor Day weekend in the US, which is the beginning of September. And so I said to her, hey, can you just give me a sense of how much this is going to cost? Which I didn't know. And she said, she looked it up and she said, it's going to be $300 a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this breathing thing, I want to conquer it, but $300 a month seems a little excessive. And this is another thing that drives me crazy about healthcare in the US. Doctors don't take the time to ask that question. They just send to the pharmacy the one that they think is, I don't know, best, easiest. If you're a doctor, help me understand this. She definitely seemed stressed and like she had more patients than maybe she should have today, or they were taking longer. So she just sent it, and I can appreciate that. But man, that's a lot. So I got out of line, I called the doctor's office and I said, is there something cheaper that's in the same class of drugs that she can send? So they sent something else. I don't know if they sent generic or what the deal is, but that one, then I had to get back in line and wait until I was at the window. And that one came in at $50 a month. So in my opinion, well worth the effort of taking that much time. But then I got out of there and it was 11:30 and I was starting to get hungry, and the Bed Bath & Beyond is by my house, and the consultation appointment for possible Botox is right at my house. It's in my complex, so I can walk there, as is the nail salon. So I came home for lunch, and now I have an hour until that consultation. My philosophy around food and restaurants, I'll share it with you. I used to be a huge restaurant eater. I loved it. It was my main source of entertainment. I didn't go to shows, I didn't go dancing. I would go eat in restaurants. It was my special thing, and I could justify it at any time. I would say pre-COVID, we would go out to eat in restaurants sometimes 3 times a week. And then sometimes I'd have lunches. So I believe that was part of my downfall and why I was as heavy as I was. Also, it was not good for the pocketbook, and now I'm on my own. So I try to reserve restaurant eating for special times, either when I'm out with a friend or it's something planned or an event, something like that. That means that today, although I was getting hungry, I could totally have justified going to a restaurant, and I would have in the past, right? So I have 90 minutes. I could go get something I didn't really do fast food drive-thrus. That's hard to do as a vegetarian and feel satisfied, but I could easily have justified. I mean, I'm in North Texas. I could get a taco or a burrito so easily anywhere. There's 100 places between where I was and where I was going. But I don't do that anymore because my health and my weight is too important to me. And so rationally, it made sense to come home, spend an hour here, hang out with the needy cat who's staring at me right now, and then go to my appointment and maybe go to Bed Bath & Beyond today, or maybe go tomorrow. My time is my own, and what I put in my mouth matters. So I'm gonna make some lunch. I'll either insert a picture here or I'll show you what it is. I'm sure it's gonna be some kind of grain bowl that'll fuel me for the next couple of hours. Okay, here's what I concocted. And you can see, I don't plan these things ahead. So on the bottom of this grain bowl is a mix. It's a mix of black rice and quinoa. I find it very helpful to prep grains on the weekend and just have them in the refrigerator, because that is by far the most time-consuming part of this entire dish. And then on top, I cut up some bok choy, which I got at the Asian market on Monday. If you're not familiar with bok choy, it looks like this. And you can eat it raw. You can cook it too, but you can eat it raw. And so that was super easy. You saw me wash it and then I just chopped it. And then I have my vegan kimchi on top. This is like super bougie. Sorry, y'all, I'm having a hard time getting it to focus. Anyway, vegan kimchi which is really delicious. Thank you to those of you who have been pushing me to try kimchi. I made wasabi. I have a powder wasabi that I mixed with water, so there's no additives in this. And then corn and tofu that I had marinated last weekend in a mix of soy sauce, miso, I think that's it. Oh, and I mixed soy sauce and rice vinegar into the grains. So this is kind of a sushi in a bowl. I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna head to my Botox appointment and see what they have to say. Okay, I'm back. Last time I saw you was probably 4.5 hours ago. And since then, so I went to my Botox consultation, which clearly was just an invitation to inject me with Botox, and I totally took the bait. So I got Botox for the first time today. Now, I just got it up here and then a little bit here. I told her I didn't want to completely lose everything. I want to look 46. I don't want to look like a plastic pod person, but but it takes time to cure, I guess. I guess it's not really gonna be fully baked for about 2 weeks. So I can still do things, although I can feel it already stiffening up. It's really kind of weird. It's been a little sore, mostly around my 11s, but let's see, I was supposed to keep my head upright for 4 hours, and I have 90 minutes of that 4 hours left. So, I guess it makes sense that it would be a little sore. I will say the injections, they must use a tiny, tiny needle because I felt it, but it was nothing. It was nothing. So, that was fun, and I'd be happy to show you my face again in about 2 weeks. I did kind of take a before picture. Hopefully it's here. And then I got my nails done. So that's the color I got on my toes and on my hands. My toes will last probably 3 weeks to a month. These will last like a day and a half. So I never worry about what color I get on my fingers. I just always do the same as my toes because I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't. And you are welcome to recommend brands and things and comments below that have worked for you. I have tried them all. The only thing that works for me are gels or dips, and I don't like what they do to my nails. They make them very weak, and it's painful, like thin, super thin, and my nails are already really thin. So then I went to Bed Bath & Beyond. I finally did that, and here's what I got. Oh, that's the last of my potatoes. I did end up eating those. I need a snack now. It's about 4:20. I think I might have, well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so I needed a colander, a big one that was collapsible. The other one I have, I feel like I can't get the dirt completely away. It doesn't fit in my dishwasher. I don't really love that. So this one, how cool is this? Not only is it collapsible, so it opens up like this, but oops, it can go over my sink, which is really awesome. And then I got a teeny tiny little measuring cup. So this just has tablespoons up to 4 and ounces up to 2. Every once in a while I just want something, and I love the curved. Like, am I right? You remember when we were kids and you would have one that wasn't curved and you'd have to sort of lean down to see if it lined up with the lines? Like, this is one of those things that in hindsight seems so brilliant, and I can't believe no one thought of it earlier. So I have a big one that goes up to 2 cups, and I saw this one. This is my impulse buy, I would say. And then, oh wow, she really wrapped these. I got some candlestick holders. 2 of them that look exactly the same for my Shabbat candles. I'm gonna try, and when I'm home on Friday nights, light the candles for Shabbat and just take a minute. I don't think I commit to 24 hours of rest and no phone and no devices and nothing like that. I have too much going on, but I think I can commit to lighting candles, taking a couple minutes, counting my blessings, having some gratitude. and I bought a box of candles last weekend, which hopefully isn't a vlog that came out before this one. I'm really good at filming. I'm not as good at editing because editing is annoying to me. It's very time consuming, so I apologize for that. Those were from Michael's. I went to Michael's afterwards, and then I also got a candle. I have been burning candles like crazy, and so I'm constantly buying candles. So this one smells really good. Whiskey and oak. I'm one of those people, I really like musky scents, like musky masculine scents. That's my jam. So this smells really good. Can't wait to burn it. And then lastly, I don't know if you can see this already, but I got myself a mop. Now I know a lot of people use the Shark mop like this. It's one of those, it squirts and then you mop. I have been using, hold on. I've been using the Swiffer Wets, and I have plenty of them left. I don't like this. I feel like they're not super wet. They're not wet enough. It doesn't put enough liquid. And I have to use like 5 or 6 just to feel like I'm even kind of mopping my floors. It does not feel like I'm mopping. And then I can see things that I've missed. And so I have maybe 3 left in this one, and then I have a whole nother one. It's one of those things I took when I moved out of the house. But I've really been wanting a mop, and I don't love a bucket and a mop. I don't know, I'm not very good at the floor cleaning thing. Okay, I'm gonna have a snack with probably some peanut butter and banana and maybe a big matzo cracker, which hopefully you've already seen the grocery haul that I had from a store called Town Talk, I think. But these were on big sale. And I don't know the points, I'm sorry, I don't have my phone nearby, but the only ingredients are unbleached whole wheat flour and water. That's it. Are they the greatest crackers I've ever eaten in my life? No, but that's a good thing for me. I don't want really delicious crackers in my house. I have a problem. I have been bringing pretzels into my house the last few weeks, and then I have to throw them away because I can't control myself. So I like a crunch, I like a cracker, but I need it to not be delicious, if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna put all this stuff away now. a variation on lunch, except this is kind of Mexican and lunch was more like a sushi bowl. So what I have in here is my 0 Point refried beans. This is just some of the black rice, doesn't have any seasonings. I'm just trying to get through all that black rice that I made. I have some corn from boiled corn on the cob. The green on top is a mix of chopped green onions and chopped chives. And then these are fingerling potatoes. They came up earlier today. I boiled a bunch of fingerling potatoes. I made smash last night. Tonight I cut them into pieces and baked them at 440 in the convection oven for I think 15 minutes, turning halfway through. You don't need oil. I mean, you can. Oil is delicious and spray oil is fine. I would just ask you to consider how highly calorically dense oil is. It's pure fat. So if you're trying to lose weight, ingesting a lot of pure fat is maybe not the best choice. And then on top, I cut some greens from my garden system. You saw me do that, and so I will put these on top. And I will put 2 tablespoons of my vegan cheese sauce on top. This has lasted me a long time. I think I'm at 2 weeks for this entire thing. What has points in this? Miso and tahini, I believe, is all that has points in this cheese sauce. So it is not very much of either one of those. My standard calculation for cheese sauce, it always seems when I put it in the recipe builder to come out to 1 point per tablespoon. So I'll have 2 tablespoons of this for 2 points, and that's dinner. All right, here's dessert. Scottish oatmeal on the bottom, 24 grams of peanut powder made into peanut butter with 8 grams of agave, 15 grams of vegan chocolate chips, cherries that were frozen, and blueberries, so 4, 5, 7. This is a 7-point dessert. It's a lot, but if you don't have points enough in your day for this, it is so easy to make it 0 points. Just take out the chocolate chips, make the peanut powder with water, and well, then it would be like 2. Or you can do 12 grams of peanut powder. This is a really flexible thing. It's just really most of the time, this is my only indulgence. So I'm gonna go eat this, and I'm gonna end the vlog here because Oscar wants to watch TV on the couch with me, and whatever Oscar wants, Oscar gets. And thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video. Bye.